Yes, I know. They're still in the car. I think they've been there 2 weeks now. Anyway, I'm just trying to think of a plan. Do you know what I'm tempted with? Because, you know, are we going to denail them? Are we going to cut them, just cut all the bad out of them and turn them into certain lengths? But I've got this office cupboard here with a spare drawer. It handles good weight. So I'm just sort of thinking, do I denail it? It still leaves a hole in it, doesn't it? We want to turn this, what some people would call a whole load of rubbish, to a whole load of possibly useful stuff, but we don't know what we're going to use it for in the future, do we? And we've got what we've got. So I'm sort of tempted to cut this here, cut that there, and just make them all the right size so they fit in here. Obviously shorter ones will be shorter ones. Are we going to be brutal and are we going to cut all the badness out or not use the bad ones, or are we looking at some of these? Look, see, it's got the crack up here. There's not a lot you can do when you've got a crack like that. You can do a lot, but if you're doing a new project, you want a new bit of wood, don't you? So would you cut this? Would you pull the nail out, keep it as it is? Would you just cut it along there and live with the crack for your next project that you don't know what on earth it's going to be? Or do you cut it here, get rid of that altogether, and just make a much cleaner stored piece of wood? And you know, same here, look, we'd cut it there. Well, we'd even almost cut it there, wouldn't we? And then we'd cut it there and it would sit in there nicely, wouldn't it? And you'd have what you'd got. What you haven't got, okay, we might get to a job and we might think, oh, I wish I'd pulled the nails because I want them to be long. You know, there's always ifs, buts, where and what and why, and you know. But I'm tempted now to just cut them all to the same length. Obviously short ones are short ones and you can't get around that. But you see, you've not only got the nail to deal with and the filth around in a nail, you've got, most of them got a crack on the end of them, haven't they? So you would probably cut that off anyway if you were doing the project. You'd come up here, wouldn't you, and you'd find some good wood. And then it is what it is. It is what it is then, except this has got a good bend on it, hasn't it? But I mean, you would plane it if you wanted to plane it, if you wanted to fit in with something or do something, or I don't know, because obviously we don't know what the next job is, do we? But we want it to take up as less room as possible. And do we want to store a nail hole that you're going to avoid anyway? So you're going to cut around anyway. So do we do that now whilst we put it away in storage, or do we do it when that particular job comes along? I know it's only scrap wood and whatever, but I can imagine this stuff sanding quite nicely and edging on something, or a trim or something. I mean, it would trim some of these shelves up nicely, wouldn't it? This sort of stuff. So stuff couldn't fall off. I don't know. Or we could incorporate it in the next set of shelves that we're going to make there. Sometimes you make it with what you've got. Sometimes you don't make a plan, do you? What have I got? Oh, I'll do it this. I'll utilise them and I'll make it like this to take into what you've got, isn't it? Same. I make my shelves because I'm a glass jar nuts and bolt man. I make all my shelves to fit glass jars, but as we saw here, I had a load of plastic tubs, so I made my shelves fit my plastic tubs. Initially, when you're first making them, you know. So, so we've got what we've got. I'm tempted, that's what I'm going to do. I'm tempted to just cut this Find a good bit there, cut it. If it's a bit long, cut short. Look out for knots. Find the faults. You know, you've got your length can move up and down a bit sometimes on some of these, can't they? So they just fit flat in this cupboard, and then it can go in the bottom cupboard of doom, never to be seen again. Like the rest of the stuff in the bottom cupboard of doom, never to be seen again. Let's have a go at that. The wind's playing with that door. So you remember these we got the other day, these marker pen things? You know, you put them in a cupboard, you forget where your cupboard is. I got 10 of them. Debbie's already nicked one. I'm sure there's plenty of them around somewhere. And we bought these as well, marker pens, didn't we? And yeah, you could use just an ordinary plain bit of wood, and you could fix it somewhere, hang it, fix it on a wall, drill a hole through there, take the head off the nail, hang it on a nail, and then you could drill holes through it, just slightly bigger, so they easily go in, and they're not going to come off. They're just going to sit in there, aren't they? They're just going to jam themselves. It's thick enough to jam themselves, not thin enough to split or do anything else. So but we all see them, don't we? We all see these levels knocking around in the car boots and the markets, and there's no name to be seen on them. There's a bubble to be rescued out of them if you need one. If you had one with a name with a bubble gone, well, you'd nick the bubble out of this one. Same here. It's a bit of wood, and it's a no named one that you can find on it. No. And we do see them, don't we? We see them everywhere all the time. You can pick up a level somewhere. But just to make your shed, your garage, a little bit more interesting, I'm going to leave the bubble in there so we can rescue it if we need to rescue it. Leave the bubble in there too. We can come and scrounge the bits off if we should, but I'll just drill random holes in and around just to put the pens in easily. The hole's going to be way easier, way bigger than this. Not way bigger, but you know, no, you won't have to stuff it in. You'll just place them in and they'll jam themselves in. And same with these. All I'll do is make 2 of them next door to each other, slightly bigger. Put a few of those in, just to sort of, for the sake of 50p out of the car boot, just sort of make whatever you're making a little bit more interesting. Oh look, turned a level into a pen holder instead of just a piece of wood into a pen holder. It just makes it a little bit more interesting, doesn't it? Didn't show you this that came in the other day. It's one of those items that, as all you heathens, all you non-collecting heathens would say, "What do you want that for, you idiot?" Well, look, it's a nice rest and be thankful. If you're doing a little job, you can sit on it, can't you? Solid steel. You can use it as a step. You can stand on it. Now, most steps we've got, or you've got, can be quite wobbly. Yes, they're good steps, as long as you don't give them too much grief. But look at this, you can stand on the very end of it, and it's not going to topple over. Look, it's what a sturdy, what a lovely sturdy step. Wow. And today we're going to be using it because I'm going to be putting my wood across and cutting. What a lovely thing to hold a bit of wood, to cut a bit of wood on. Plenty of room underneath for the sort of work, you know. What have I got to show you? If you wanted to cut that, there's plenty of room underneath for your sort of work, plenty of room for this to fall down. Yeah, wow. So never say no to anything. There's always a use. I don't know. There's no name on it. I don't know what it was for. It's a sturdy, wow, it's a sturdy thing. Would you use it as a tub? it could carry anything heavy, but you wouldn't really want to make it heavier than it is. Yeah, look at this beautiful thing that came in. Reggie, do you want that? Look, didn't show you that, did I? Cracking bit of kit that is. Thank you very much. Never say no to nothing, because it's everything is what you can imagine it to be. You can imagine that to be anything, can't you? I'm sure there's a lot of you sitting there going, "Oh, Reggie, I would this, I would there, I would cut, I would weld, I would put this on it, I would put that on it, I would use it for this, I would use it for that." Anyway, steel red box. Is it a box? Well, I think it's some sort of cover, maybe. I don't know. We'll call it the steel red box of usefulness. Yeah, so never say no to nothing. Remember the story of this? We bought it for Stephen, didn't we? Stephen was looking for one. I got offered one. I says, right, I'll buy it for you, Stephen. When it came, because I bought it blind, when it came, I thought, oh, this is great. This is really good. I don't really want to give it back to Stephen. So anyway, I said to Stephen, I bought it and you can have it, but if you can find another one, that would be better. So he found another one, similar thing, and I got to keep this one. So sometimes being nice, buying stuff for other people, and then they don't take it off your hands, gives you a nice little saw from time to time. So I got my little production line on the go. Pick them up, put this in here, this fits in there, fit them all flat so they all fit. So that's going to be our gauge. We've done one already. I'm only basically cutting off what you would cut off anyway, which is the rotten ends. Yeah, so let's do a few and see how we get on. So let's see what we've done. All these are nice and clean as, you know, it's got one clean face. The good thing with wood is you can turn it round or sometimes turn it upside down, so if you wanted to hide that edge you could either put it behind or you could put it underneath, as long as you've got one face looking nice or half nice or something to work on. So we got those done. These want a bit more denailing, a bit more sorting, pulling out the wood at the edge of them. We've only basically cut off what was going to go away anyway. Some of them have got splits in. Alright, my cat! Some of them I went around, they had a knot on the end of them, so I just cut round the end of the knot. See, that's got a knot on it. So that had to go. This wasn't a lot you're going to do with that anyway. So yeah, I'm quite pleased. We got rid of we're not storing the garbage. Although the way it happens here, I might store them. You never know when you want a bit of wood. Anyway, I've got to yet to pull these apart, see what they look like, see how the nails come out of them. And then I'll show you how I've been sort of grading them. And there was a few was too good to cut short. That's the size I want. But you see this one, yeah, it bent a bit, but it's almost too good to cut short. See, it might look bad this end, but if it's something you can get a nice clean face this end, doesn't it? If you were going to plane it or sand it or do something with it. What do you think? I mean, you could go down to go another level and just do those, you know, cut them, see what the average size is, cut them. But I'm quite happy because we don't know what's ahead of us and we've got what we've got. we might as well inspect and check these first and put them away, take less space than actually throw them together as a heap there. How much less space of useful stuff, because you know it's got a huge crack in it, so if you clipped it as one you'd never do much with that anyway. That piece next to it might do. So yeah, let's separate a few of these and see what comes out. So we've uncornered all the corner bits. That leaves us with these. They are what they are. At least we've got planks. Now what we're going to do, I'm not a fan of, if you're going to keep wood that's had nails in it, I'm not a fan of denailing. No, I'm not particularly. I always grind them off, so that's what we're going to do with these now. Before we go to the next step, we're just going to grind off all the nails level, so the nails are in there, and we can decide if it suits us to live with them or like this. It's got a crack all the way to the end here, look. So maybe you'd have to live with them holes just to get the length out of it.
There's a pepper growing.
Let's what's happening?
There's a pepper growing.
Let's have an upgrade on the greenhouse. What fell off? You've skinned your tomatoes now. You've tomatoes that's there.
No, still
That's a whopper.
Look at the size of him.
Yes, that's what you said last night, darling.
Feel the size of that.
Oh yeah, proper handful.
Just picked a load
These
of
have done all right. One of these fell off. Did you eat it? It was all right.
But look, there's another one here.
Yeah, another one there. Oh,
I don't know what. Look at the size of that whopper, but I don't know when it's ready.
That was the smallest of them all. There's one already fell off, isn't there?
It's bigger than my hand, that is.
Yeah.
And then I've noticed there's another one growing. Can I keep going?
Keep going.
I think it's too late in the year now.
Yeah.
But look!
Look. Oh, another one.
Pepper!
Oh, is that a pepper?
This is a pepper plant.
All right.
See, that pepper plants are supposed to come from the flower.
Oh, yeah.
And it looks like that one's starting to...
It's a very funny
that
year.
one, look.
The garden's been a very funny year because
Something's eating it. I don't know what's eating.
It's the end of what is it now?
September.
The end of September?
But somebody said you might be able to keep this plant going.
Yeah.
They could go dormant, but I don't know.
This is going there.
This is all dying off
Vinny the
now.
vine has stretched
But
again.
there are still ones growing.
Yeah. We've had a good crop off these two. You did 4, that was too many. You did 2, 2's still been plenty.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
still
there's
plenty
another
of.
one there, look.
Yeah.
But I think it's too late. I don't know why they're all sudden fruiting now.
Well, then go down then. And there's a few tomatoes, but they're not going red, are they? They're
They'll
here.
go red.
It's the heat they wanted it. There's a few down there, Deb. That's over red. Oh,
Is there? I thought I picked some.
the bottom. But what you'll make a green chutney with these, won't you?
Yeah.
In the end. Once you start going really
That
bad.
one's fallen.
Oh yeah,
Still
fallen ones.
fallen. They're not quite ready, but they'll probably be all right. I'll leave them on the windowsill.
So it's been a very funny year this year. Very sort of poor year this year.
Been waiting for the sun to come out all day.
The broad beans have been fine, haven't they?
They're not broad beans, they're runner beans.
Runner beans has been.
They're dead now.
They're dead now. Very poor year for the greenhouse this year.
I think
Let's grind all the nails off and see what that produces. So, we've ground all the nails out of them, cut all the nails off. That will be a case of rescuing what's there. We're going to have to lower our expectations on that wood. So if that was grade A, shall we say, or no, new is grade A, that's the next grade, B or C. D, E, F, nearly just said. So let's, and the thing is, you're marking the back when you're cutting the nail off, but you're only going to use it and you're going to see the front, so you're going to fix it somehow, so you might see the nail head when you're nailing it to something else. At least you can use it. It's a usable piece now, isn't it? However, because you know we don't know what job it's going to do. We can imagine. I mean, if it was doing bird cages or something, it'd be fantastic, wouldn't it? But you know, we might be sanding it. We might be doing all sorts with it. Who knows? We're just at this moment trying to store it in the best way that we can. So let's just cut and grade a few of them like this now. Look, this one's cracked all the way here, so we're going to cut from there and cut from there. So that's going to be a pretty short piece. But how many times have you had to cut a long piece because you want a short piece? So I'm not averse to keeping smaller bits because you just don't know what we're going to use it for. You can imagine, but you won't know until that job pops his head. We're just basically at this moment getting rid of all the garbage that was never going to come of any use, and pull the best out of what we've got. And of course, remember, it's all come for nothing, isn't it? Bit of time, bit of tinkering. So let's see what we can scavenge out of this now then. So I don't really know if you're going to see what I'm looking at, but let's have a look. Let's have a look what we can scavenge out of these now. So we just cut looking for useful lengths. This is pretty short. That's okay, that's okay. Cut that there. We've got a useful piece there. This pretty bit cracked up there, but better up here, so we can afford to cut that off. Not a bad little bit, and actually it ends up too long anyway. Yeah, so that will go into the longer pile. We've got our measure here, haven't we? Yeah, we've got our measure piece here. Yeah. So what we're going to do with this one is twist it up here. Oh, well twisted and cracked there. You're not going to do much of that. This one, ooh, that looks pretty good as it is. It's a bit over length, so we don't want to be cutting through those nails here. So if we've got to cut a bit off anyway to fit the cupboard, we'll cut this little bit of a nail off there. Another useful piece, right, well, I'll add this one. Again, it's a bit long, we can level it up. Let's cut that end off, see where we look at. We've cleaned up that end. This is a bit iffy and there's a knot there. What shall we do? We've got to cut it down to here anyway, so let's go a bit deeper and cut that. I just do. Oh, this is twisted and bent, but that doesn't matter. This crack runs all the way up there, so. Again, smaller piece. What are we going to do with this one? That's pretty poor all the way, but it's got quite a good face that side, isn't it? No, put that to one side. We'll think about that. Let's see how short we get. That looks alright. Yes, it's damaged, but generally on wood, you're only seeing one side. So that looks a bit rough. But you turn it over, it don't look quite so rough, maybe. In Reggie's world, you know, in the world of making something out of nothing, that looks okay as well. Slightly long, so we won't mess with them. We'll cut this one on the edge off. I was going to use my chop saw, I was going to use my chop saw, but two big cracks in this. Yeah. Oh, this looks like we can get something out of this one. Pretty good. We're going to keep this as a long one. Let's just clean this end up. I'm going to bring my big saw out, but I've got that much rubbish in the way. Yeah, that's another good one, turns out. Split there. So if we've got to shorten it, it's still too much. So yeah, we'll keep that as a long one, possibly. Let's cut that off. Crack isn't going to go anywhere, and that's a long one. This one looks bad on this end. It's going to fit in the size we want. Let's cut this end off. Hey, that didn't look too bad at all, actually. Oh, we might keep that as a one. Yeah, slightly longer than this one's. Oh no. What about this one? Oh yeah, look, this is okay. This is okay, it's within the length. Let's cut the whole of that badness off. That looks okay. Bearable, doable, you know, keep that as a long one. What's this one? I feel something bad under here. Ooh, bad all over, isn't it? Yeah, we can't do a lot with that. Would you want to repair that even? No. Let's see. That's got an okay face on it though, hasn't it? Yeah. So we're going to cut this here. And we'll put it within the length. And because there's a knot here and there's a knot there, let's bypass the knot, cut it here. That's another long one. Yeah. That's a pretty good one as well. Look. Ooh, nail still existing on that one. Let's get rid of that nail. And within the length. Ooh, just. Will it fit? Yeah, just fit in there. Right. That one doesn't look too bad. Again, a little bit long. So if you're going to choose to cut anything off, you might as well cut that bit off. It's a bit naff there, isn't it? That's going to fit lovely. And then so on and so forth. So on and so forth. Right, let's see if you saw anything. Well, I'm quite pleased with myself. In the world of making something out of nothing, we saw these, didn't we? We've got two layers of them. There's one layer up here, one layer down there. So we've created, out of what was going in the skip, a layer and a half of possibly useful stuff, because remember, we don't know what we're going to use it for, but we'll know how much we've got. We've got a fair old pile that we can put elsewhere. These are too long to fit in there, but it won't take a lot of space just to put them to one side. So I know I've got some in here and some in there for whatever I want to do. We've got rid of all the garbage, the stuff that we're never going to do anything with. So, I might relook at them. No, I might bin them actually, yeah. So, and those are going to be binned. So out of nothing, i.e. something was going in the skip, possibly going to get burnt, it's quite different wood, so I'm hoping it's some sort of a harder wood, or it might look nice when you've sanded it and put a bit of varnish or whatever on it in whatever you're making. So, in the vein of making something out of nothing, I think we've done quite well. Yeah, and that's not going to take a lot of space. As much it filled the car, didn't it? And we'll nice in the bottom, in the cupboard of doom, in the bottom cupboard of doom. It's going to be just fine. It's not too much weight. I'm quite pleased with that. Yeah. And let's see what job is coming along that we can make use of it. So what can we say about that? Well, here's the good wood, the bits of good wood. There's the other overlong pieces. Haven't taken up much space. We've got ourselves a bag of firewood, kindling to November the 5th is around the corner. Should we want to make a fire, a bonfire, and brush the floor, eh? Ooh, don't tell fingers we used it in the truck. So for the sake of just asking, excuse me mate, what are you doing with all that wood? Oh, can I have some please? Yeah, with the help of Fingers truck. He doesn't watch these films, so hopefully nobody will grass me up. And look, it's come in handy now, isn't it? Lovely, just for the sake, and it's all for free. All right, and it's all for free, isn't it? So lovely, lovely jubbly. And we've got so many future projects we could do with, we could make with in there. Yeah, so I'm really pleased. I mean, just as a thought, what did we pay for these? Wasn't it 20 quid? I think we paid 20 quid for that. Yeah, and was happy to pay 20 quid for it. We bought that one as well, didn't we? So in the words of Del Boy, no income tax, no VAT. You know, you could make a load of stuff and go to the car boot and not pay any tax on it. Yeah, that's got the juices flowing, hasn't it? I mean, you know, what would you be willing to pay for that in your garden? You know, Christmas is coming. Buy the wife some paint and she'll say, what do I want all that paint for? And then next time there's a raging storm outside and she gets cabin fever, well, you just suggest to her gently, it would be a nice idea to paint the gnomes, darling. And what would they be worth now in the car boot? What do we pay for them? £5 each or something, was it? Blimey. But this one needs to go to the gnome hospital. Yeah, there was a crack. The weather's killed it. But I mean, these are lasting really well in the garden, aren't they? They're looking fantastic. And there's big stormy winters ahead of us and there's lots to be painted. Hey, Debbie darling! Debbie darling! The gnome is looking out longingly, longing to go into the garden. He's in here, he's stuck indoors. He just wants a bit of paint and a bit of varnish, and he can't wait to go out in the garden. Yeah. It's a winter project. Never? You're doing chutney, are you?
Yeah.
Oh. So, you pulled the beetroots, have you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were very, very small.
Really?
Yeah.
Beetroots. But then what's that? Onions and what? Apple. And all your other stuff. But yeah, what do? You put all that work into the chutney. It was gone in a couple of weeks, wasn't it? The last lot that you made.
Yeah, I like chutney.
Did you like it? Yeah. Nothing like homemade, is there?